Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. Carter and Paris. I feel like a broken record at this point. And apparently, it almost seems like Carter feels the same way because Carter's not there working out, and Paris shows up at the door. And Carter just has that look like, so I just pretty much kind of told you multiple times that we shouldn't be together, and yet you're still at my front door. That's great. And Paris is just like, we gotta sit there and make this happen. We gotta sit there and just stop fighting our feelings. You gotta stop fighting your feelings and just kind of throw caution to the wind. This is after Carter's like, I don't want to sit there and keep making. I don't want to sit there and make the same mistakes I was making before with the Foresters, and I don't want to sit there and put your job in jeopardy. And Paris' response is more or less, well, we shouldn't sit there and deny our feelings of how we feel about each other and want to be together. So translation is you're just going to throw caution to the wind and hope that both of y'all have jobs Monday morning. Awesome. And more or less, that's literally what they do. They just start making out and, XOXO, I guess. I don't really know what else to say about this because I felt like I've been having the same talk about the dingbat and the guy with no personality just doing the same ass-dying things and her mother being just all sorts of extra. So I look forward to seeing how this is just going to go downhill for both of them. So Brooke is sitting there crying, broken hearted, and Hope comes in, and Brooke tells her everything. And at this point, I'm just like, Hope, why do you keep sitting there giving this woman hope? This is what happens when you have a character named Hope. But why do you sit there and just keep filling this woman up with just delusions? I mean, on top of that, I mean, granted, it doesn't really take much because Brooke just keeps sitting there thinking that she's going to get her husband back. Uh, and of course, Hope is like, well, you probably could have worked out before, but now you have Taylor in the mix. I'm like, if this was not so popular in real life, it wouldn't matter if Taylor was there regardless, because clearly both of you dingbats are not getting the problem. Is that you've done this one too many times. That's the problem, and that's why it's done. This whole Hope giving Brooke, just illusions of, well, y'all can sit there and work it out, and he still loves you, and of course, Brooke just going along with that delusion because, I mean, reality is just not working. So she is just retreating into this fantasy land of she's gonna find a way to get her man back. And while I do understand how breakups can be um tough, I do totally get that, and I understand that she made a mistake. And she keeps talking about, oh well, I just don't understand what made me drink, and I'm just like, sweetheart, I think at this point we should just move past you keep asking that same question because I know that's your go-to thing as far as like, well, if this didn't happen, then that didn't happen. Which clearly it almost seems like she lost the plot at this point. It's like that's not a problem. I mean, that didn't add to it. I mean, that didn't help, but what's done is done. It's pretty much what Hope said. What's done is done. You need to sit there and find a way to move forward and I guess try to work on your relationship. Even though this man pretty much kissed you goodbye, had the most I guess cringeworthy music that they could just possibly put on there. It just she still is not getting it. And speaking of not getting it, Steffi managed to talk so damn much and just not listen to a word of what Ridge is saying. So Ridge is working. And Steffi, Thomas walks in and like, so what happened? Did you sit there? Like, what happened? Is everything all right? Like, did you break up with Brooke pretty much? Like, did you end it? And it gets to a point where it's like they start talking. Well, I'm sorry, Steffi starts talking, and after a while, we're just like, listen, it wasn't easy, um, and I'm just kind of done talking about it. Okay, he just said he's done talking about it. This is after both of his kids just walked in there. It's like, hey, so what happened? What happened? How did it go? This dude literally had to break up with his wife that he known for years, and you want to start bombarding him with a bunch of questions. And then you do that, and then he says, okay, I don't want to sit there and really talk about this anymore. I don't want to sit there and answer any more questions. Pretty much. You would think that that would be the end. You would think that they would be like, oh, you know what? You're right. I'm going to sit there and respect you. And on top of that, this is like AKA work. So maybe you shouldn't be actually having this conversation right now. Oh, who am I kidding, me? Who am I kidding? Of course, Steffi's just going to sit there and go, well, I understand it's not easy, but you have to sit there and do it. And then, I'm going to find a better analogy for just Steffi and her consistent, constantly, never shutting up, just stream of talking. And it got to a point where I was just like looking at my phone, scrolling through it, looking up. Oh, no, she's still talking. Okay, cool. Da, 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 da. And of course, when she's done, no, because she wants to make sure that, this whole Ridge and Taylor thing sticks. So she calls reinforcements. She's like, hey, mom, I just heard what happened. You need to sit there and come over here now. Dad needs you. So we're just not going to actually get work done today, right? this is, I'm pretty sure, isn't she like a CEO or something like that? Or something high in the food chain? Thomas, don't you got something to draw or like approve or look at or double check? No? No, we're just not going to do. Okay, cool. So Steffi decides to call Taylor, and Taylor comes over there. And of course, Steffi gives her usual speech of she loves you, Taylor is best for you, Brooke is bad, um, you two belong together because I'm just not going to shut up until you guys are together. More or less. That's more or less how that went. And I'm just sitting there looking at this whole thing like, so, question. Has she always been this way? And by this way, I mean, like, has he always just started talking about something or just start going and just not shutting up about it? Like, regardless of if people are saying, hey, Steffi, maybe this is not the right time for you to sit there and be pressuring X, Y, and Z, or maybe it kind of went too far. Maybe we should back off. Has she always been like that? Because my goodness, is this woman exhausting. Watching her scenes after all, I was like, yep, she's still going. And that's what it happens more or less. Steph, Ridge and Taylor look at each other and they smile. And I mean, granted, Thomas is just as guilty. It's just Steffi does the majority of the talking. By majority, I mean like 95%. I give Thomas his 5%. And Sheila comes over to Deacons to sit there and tell him the good news that, Ridge is back with Taylor and that now you got your shot. Um, Yeah, that's pretty much what happens for the most part. They don't really. I mean, of course, she'll like sit there and flirt with Deacon, and Deacon's like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm all about Brooke. I'm Team Brooke. Yada yada yada." Um, yeah, that's pretty much about it. She's just there to sit there and tell him that you got your shot and you should sit there and take it. And of course, when Deacon decides he wants to sit there and work again, or like he gets away from her, Taylor does what Taylor usually does. At this point, I don't even think I have to say it. I just really don't. And granted, yeah, I get it for the new people who are watching, and so that's cool. But for somebody who's been watching this for a little bit, it's like, okay, she's monologuing about the same damn thing. And the thing that's really funny is that I don't know how long it's been since Sheila's been back in town, how long she's been doing that whole monologuing thing. And while I can sit there and kind of complain about it for a little bit, there are people, my subscribers, people who watch, has been watching the show a hell of a lot longer than me. So if I'm starting to get a little bit kind of annoyed and just kind of over it, like, okay, it's her doing her usual thing, I can only imagine how everyone else must feel. Anyway, with that being said, I think that's about it. I want to thank you all for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Have a great weekend, great and safe weekend.